A federal grand jury has indicted the 4 former Minneapolis police officers involved in George Floyd's arrest and death, accusing them of violating Floyd's constitutional rights as he was restrained face down on the pavement and gasping for air, according to indictments unsealed Friday. A 3-count indictment unsealed Friday names Derek Chauvin, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander Kueng and Tou Thao. Specifically, Chauvin is charged with violating Floyd's right to be free from unreasonable seizure and unreasonable force by a police officer. Thao and Kueng are also charged with violating Floyd's right to be free from unreasonable seizure because they did not intervene to stop Chauvin as he knelt on Floyd's neck. All 4 former officers are charged for their failure to provide Floyd with medical care. Floyd's arrest and death, which a bystander captured on cell phone video, sparked protests nationwide and widespread calls for an end to police brutality and racial inequities. Chauvin was also charged in a second indictment, stemming from the arrest and neck restraint of a 14-year-old boy in 2017. Lane, Thao and Kueng appeared via videoconference in U.S. District Court in Minneapolis. Chauvin was not part of the court appearance. Chauvin was convicted last month on state charges of murder and manslaughter in Floyd's death and is in Minnesota's only maximum security prison as he awaits sentencing. The other 3 former officers face a state trial in August, and are free on bond. They were allowed to remain free after Friday's federal court appearance. Floyd, 46, died May 25, 2020, after Chauvin pinned him to the ground with a knee on his neck even as Floyd, who was handcuffed, repeatedly said he couldn't breathe. Kueng and Lane also helped restrain Floyd. State prosecutors have said Kueng knelt on Floyd's back and Lane held down Floyd's legs. State prosecutors say Thao held back bystanders and kept them from intervening during the 9.5-minute restraint. Chauvin's attorney, Eric Nelson, argued during his murder trial that Chauvin acted reasonably in the situation and that Floyd died because of underlying health issues and drug use. He has filed a request for a new trial, citing many issues, including the judge's refusal to move the trial amid all the publicity it generated. Nelson had no comment on the federal charges Friday. Messages left with attorneys for 2 of the other officers were not immediately returned, and an attorney for the 4th officer was getting in an elevator and disconnected when reached by the Associated Press. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, whose office is prosecuting the state charges, said that the U government was responsible for protecting Americans' civil rights and that federal prosecution for the violation of George Floyd's civil rights is entirely appropriate, particularly in light of Chauvin's murder conviction.